The best way to remember the causes of World War I is either main or mania. That's a good way to think of it. It's an acronym: militarism, alliance system, nationalism, imperialism, and assassination are the causes of World War I. So assassination was the catalyst to World War I. So militarism. Militarism is exactly what it sounds like: the development of a military, being able to fight, put your money where your mouth is, being able to back up what you say, right? Countries try to show their power using the military, which ended up with World War I. Germany at the time was the strongest army, had the strongest land army in the world. Germany was one of those people or one of those groups that felt that they were better than they actually were. So Germany was like, you know what, we're actually really strong, we're really cool, so we're gonna build a navy so that we can be as strong as Britain, because Britain had the strongest navy at this time. So in 1897, Germany's Kaiser decided it wanted to become a major sea power. It not only wanted to be the strongest army, it wanted to be the strongest navy, because Germany thought that it could take over the entire world. Germany and Britain soon began a competition naval race, meaning they built battleships, they built as many things on the sea as they could to see who could be stronger than the other. The rest of the world was just watching them like, okay, well, y'all go ahead, y'all have fun with that, not realizing it was gonna pull us all into a war very soon. France, Italy, and Japan and the US eventually joined the arms race in trying to compete to be a world power as well.
So they went from hating on them to wanting to be like them.
Well, okay, so sort of, but not necessarily. So with Germany and Britain, they went from like, why are y'all doing all this, to if something happens, if something pops off, we need to be able to defend ourselves. And if Germany and Britain are the only ones that have battleships, there's no way we can beat them. So we might as well join them to make sure that if they come over here with anything, we're ready for it.
Ain't nobody was even thinking about that.
I mean, no, they needed to. They were. The alliance system. What's an alliance, Alex? When you hear the word alliance, what do you hear? What do you think? I'm asking you because you're on your phone. Partners, right? Partners. Yeah. So the agreements, contracts, games, all these things are alliances, friends, right? So lots of countries had alliances with other countries. If something pops off, I know that so-and-so has my back. And so I know that I will be okay if I have to fight so-and-so, because I can call, I have reinforcements with whomever, right? So we had two major alliances before World War I started. The first was the Triple Entente, or the Allies. That was France, Britain, and Russia. The other alliance was a Triple Alliance, or the Central Powers, which was Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. It also included the Ottoman Empire, which is no longer a thing, but at the time it was the Ottoman Empire. Which is now Turkey, but it's not the Ottoman Empire anymore. So we have militarism. People wanting to have a strong military. We have the alliance system. People having, people who have their back, having friends to fight with them. Nationalism. Nationalism is a devotion to your country. It's a devotion to the interests and culture of one's nation, and it often leads to competitive rivalries among nations. This is why Germany was like, yo, if we get a strong navy, we're gonna be stronger than everybody else in the world. So Germany's nationalism is what caused them to think that they were better than they were, to think that, yo, we are so strong, we could literally be the leaders of the entire world. Alex, put your phone away. We could literally be the leaders of the entire world, right? Many ethnic groups resented the domination by other ethnic groups and often looked to larger nations for protection. Russia regarded itself as the protector of Europe's Slavic people. Serbia was one of the Slavic nations that wasn't under Russia's rule. Serbia was actually under Austria-Hungary's rule, which kind of made Russia and Austria-Hungary not really like each other, okay? They're a part of different alliances. So already they have a reason to not like each other.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay. So in Russia's a huge country, right? So a lot of times when a smaller nation, because they're smaller, if they get picked on, or if something happens, they need a bigger nation to be able to call for an alliance, right? So Russia, being as big as it is, took over all the Slavic nations. Slavic is like an ethnicity. So all the people who were considered Slavic were pretty much aligned with or under the rule of, quote unquote, Russia. Russia didn't own them, but Russia was kind of their big brother for all Slavic nations, except for Serbia. Serbia was the only one that was like, nah, we don't need you, we got Austria-Hungary. So Russia didn't like Austria-Hungary for that reason, because it was like, we're supposed to have all the Slavic nations, but you're gonna take Serbia. And so because you got Serbia, we don't really like you all that much. We don't have beef, but I just don't rock with you like that because you have Serbia, and Serbia's a Slavic nation that's supposed to be with us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, why is that significant though?
It will be. It's coming up. The assassination is why it's significant, but we'll get there. Imperialism. Bigger nation taking over a smaller nation. World War I was caused, happened because bigger nations want to control smaller nations. And so when that happens, it brings in the alliance system, it brings in militarism, it brings in nationalism. It caused World War I. Europe has been an imperialist continent forever. And so once they realized that they all were imperialist countries, they start competing with each other to see who can get the most territories, or who is supposed to have control over another nation. Germany began to compete with France and Britain for smaller colonies. So again, Germany is already here, like we're already the strongest nation as far as our army goes. We're building up a very strong navy as well. And Britain and France have a whole bunch of little colonies. We should have these colonies. We shouldn't be this strong and not have not have more colonies than everybody else. So they started competing for these territories to take from Britain and France. Nationalism and imperialism encouraged each European nation to pursue its own interests and compete for power. Okay, so the assassination. Why? I told you all the stuff about Russia, Austria-Hungary, and Serbia. So, in June of 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who was the heir to the Austrian throne, okay? He was the person who was going to take over Austria. He went to Bosnia, Sarajevo, for a parade, okay? So, in this parade, he and his wife are like in this, let's say they're in a carriage, and they're waving at the people, and it's like, hey everybody, I'm the next, heir, I'm the heir to the throne. A Serbian national walked up, shot them both in the head, killed at the parade. So parade is going, person walked up, Gavrilo Princip is his name, walked up, bam, bam. Listen, Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife killed immediately, okay?
Wait, who shot him?
Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian national. Now, a Serbian national, Serbia was supposed to be under Austria-Hungary's rule, right? So a Serbian national decided, we don't want to do this anymore. So because we don't want to do this anymore, and it's just this one person, it's not all of Serbia. Serbia didn't believe this. It's the one person, this one group that was a rebel that didn't like what Austria-Hungary had going on. That's who killed the heir to the Austrian throne, okay? But understand, Austria-Hungary don't care about that. They don't care that it was a rebel. Your people killed my next leader. I don't like your people now. Yes.
Did Yugoslavia become a
Girl, I don't know. What you talking about right now? Does it have anything to do with this right now? Look here. After World War I. All right. In July, so remember he was killed in June. In July of 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war against Serbia. These are not very big countries. Austria-Hungary is a mid-sized country. Serbia is very, very small. Okay? Serbia used to be under Austria-Hungary's command. They didn't belong to them, but they were under their rule. Okay? But because the Serbian national killed the Austrian-Hungary heir, Austria-Hungary declared war against Serbia. Germany was a part of the alliance with Austria-Hungary. Remember that? Germany, who's minding their business, like they over there just trying to become a world power, hears about the fight with Serbia. Serbia is this big. Germany says, oh, you know what? Our allies fighting. We got to get in. We're in. We're coming to fight with y'all.
Tag team.
Austria-Hungary's like, oh, I don't think we need help, but okay. I mean, if you really want to, sure.
Yes, it was.
Are we listening? Are we
We're
listening?
literally talking.
Okay. So Austria-Hungary is like, oh, okay, Germany. I mean, I know that we're allies. That's cool. Serbia's real small. I don't think we're going to have problems with them, but that's fine. You want to be in it. Germany said, no, we're in. Hey, Russia, you cool with Serbia? I want you. So Germany declared war on Russia. Russia is like, wait a minute.
Mind your business, man.
Russia's like, hold up. First of all, Serbia was under Austria-Hungary. Serbia is not even a Slavic nation. Well, it is a Slavic nation, but was the one Slavic nation that really wasn't under us. But okay, Germany, we ain't scared, so if you want it, then you can get it. Okay? So, Germany said, no, y'all forgot. I'm the strongest nation, And I built up a strong navy. So France, you could get it too.
They was on that.
It's just
So
like,
France.
I'm fighting, we
So
all
listen. So France is like, wait a minute. I have nothing to do with any of this. However, if you come over here, if you swing, I'm gonna swing back. Okay? So Germany has been doing too much from the beginning of wars, right?
Tell them to sit down.
So Germany has declared war on Russia and on France. Okay? Remember the war?
France bigger than them?
Yeah, I believe so, but it doesn't matter.
But I
Germany
think
was
France
stronger
never
at this
won
time.
any of its wars.
Okay, so Germany had already declared war on Russia and France. Russia and France. Russia and France are like, all right, that's cool. You know, we'll fight. It's not really our fight, but we'll do it. Austria-Hungary and Serbia are sitting back like, oh, y'all gonna fight and we'll let y'all do that. Like, it was our fight, but since y'all in here now, like, we'll just sit back, right? Belgium was a very tiny country in between Germany and France, okay? Germany and Paris. Now, Germany has declared war on France. They want to get to the capital of Paris. So they got to go through Belgium. They could just walk through Belgium and be like, hey, y'all coming through. Sorry, we got a war to fight. Now, they destroyed Belgium. Belgium had nothing to do with any of this. So Belgium, and like when I say destroyed Belgium, like old people are living, like sitting, minding their business. They went in, knocked people's doors down, set their houses on fire. Old people like running for their lives. You ever seen an old person run? They don't really run fast, but they think they run fast. So you have people who are like literally having to run for their lives for no reason at all, because Germany just wants to exert their power, okay? So when Belgium got messed up, then Britain was like, oh, hold up. You mess with Belgium? Belgium's a baby country. Like, you basically just punched the baby in the face. I can't let that happen, so I gotta jump in. So Britain jumped in. Now, Britain was already an ally with France and Russia, but Britain was like, listen, y'all got it. That's two countries, y'all got that. I don't need to jump in. Until they mess with Belgium. Okay, when Germany messed with Belgium, then Britain was like, I'm in, we got this. Okay?
So it was a 3-on-1.
3-on-2, because remember Austria-Hungary is still in it. Austria-Hungary's kind of sitting back, but it's like 4-on-2 because Serbia is also there. Serbia, is a tiny country like, oh, okay, y'all got it? Cool. I'm taking that or something, right? Okay, so the alliance system pulled in a whole bunch of nations into the conflict. The fighting started in August of 1914. Germany invaded Belgium. That was what happened. That's what pulled in Britain. You can read more about this, the Schifflin Plan, in your books. With World War I, it was the first war with trench warfare. Trenches are like ditches, right? Where you dig into the ground. The reason why they needed trenches is because in World War I, they had machine guns. Machine guns are automatic weapons. Automatic weapons, you can pull the trigger one time and it's going to continue to fire, right? I think. Maybe I'm wrong, whatever.
I think
it's a bunch of bullets at once, right? If you hold it, it will continue to fire. So with machine guns though, there's no outrunning a machine gun. So because there's no like outrunning and ducking and cover with machine guns, they had to dig into the ground to hide. So with trenches, you literally are like ducking for cover, and then you go up and you shoot, and then you duck for cover, and then you go up and you shoot. And that was how World War I was fought, which is why World War I took a long time and not much happened in Europe with World War I. Because with these trenches, your job is to stay alive, for one, kill your opponent, but also advance forward to dig another trench. So people who are advancing forward sometimes get killed while they were trying to advance forward and dig another trench. In all of World War I, only 7 actual miles were covered with trench warfare, okay? So it wasn't as effective as they had hoped it would be. The land between trenches is called no man's land. It had like landmines, it had barbed wire, it also had the machine gun fire, so it was not a place that anybody really wanted to be. You wanted to be in the trench. However, the trench is not a good place to be. The trench is filled with rats and dead bodies and people.
You think that's why they call the hood the trenches?
Could be. But understand, everything you do is in the trench. You eat in the trench. You go to the bathroom in the trench. Your best friend died beside you in the trench. So when that happens, there's nowhere for them to go. And so a lot of people got sick. Diseases happen. There are rats and there are animals because they don't care about a war. If there's food, they go into the food. So they don't care about the war. There was a lot of horrible things that happened in the trench. A lot of people died from the diseases of the trench. not even being able to get shot by machine gun fire because, you know, the trench was enough. We have talked about what's going on in Europe. America, this is American history, and we're chilling. So we hear about the fight in Europe, and it's like, ooh, man, good luck with that. I hope y'all are okay. Like, I'll tell you what, if y'all need weapons, you can buy them from us. We got you. So America is about our money. So we were like, oh, y'all need weapons? Oh, we got factories. We can make weapons for you. So America's making money. We're selling to the allies. We're selling to the Central Powers. We're selling to everybody. Money is green. We care about that. So Germany and France and Britain are looking like, hey, America, y'all on somebody's side? America's like, nope, I'm on the side of money. So if you need something, let us know. We'll make it. We'll ship it to you. Okay? Oh yeah, America's gonna always be about our money.
Hustling.
Socialists criticize the war as a capitalist and imperialist struggle between Germany and England to control markets and colonies in China, Africa, and the Middle East. Remember, Germany and Britain at this time were the strongest of the countries as far as military goes. So this whole war, everybody changed or thought that the whole war, for one, because Germany was trying to exercise its rights and be like, oh, we can take over the whole world. It was more of, let me show you how strong I am, and let me show you what I can take over. So a lot of people were like, this is a dumb war that is gonna kill people, it's gonna ruin land, all because y'all wanna show your power. Like, it's not worth it. So a lot of people didn't agree with the war. In America, you know, we have a lot of immigrants. 25% of immigrants in the early 1900s came from Germany. 25% of immigrants in America came from Germany.
That's a lot.
So with this war happening, you have a lot of German Americans who may have been born in America, but their culture is still Germany. Who was like, oh, okay, don't, like, people in America at this time, haven't chosen a side yet. So we hear the stories about what Germany is doing, but the German Americans are like, well, we don't know the whole story. Like, we don't know that Germany just was like, oh, we're better than everybody. And so there might be other things that have, you know, given the benefit of the doubt. But of course, the Americans who aren't German Americans are kind of like, it don't seem like it. It look like y'all just trying to do too much. And so I don't know how we feel about Germany at this time. Okay, we're still selling to Germany though, because money is money. A lot of Americans felt closer to Britain because we used to be Britain, right? As you know that, yeah, we gained our independence from Britain. So we speak the same language. We have a similar government. We have a lot of history and culture that are similar.
That's like our parent.
Sort of. That's like America's, parent country that we had to get our independence from. But because of that, that's why a lot of people who were not German Americans would have rather Britain win. Because we speak the same language, like they look like us, they are more like us, we want them to win. It's just picking a side at that time. America had economic ties with both sides. We were selling war materials and supplies to both sides. British propaganda led America to refer to Germany as the bully of Europe. So Britain is on the other side of the war of Germany. Remember, we speak the same language. So Britain is publishing stuff and sending it to us to let us know, like, hey, let me tell y'all what Germany is really doing in this war. Now, propaganda is like yellow journalism where they exaggerate things. It may not really be what's happening, but because we don't speak German, many of us don't speak German, but we do read English, most of us read English. When we read things about how horrible Germany is, we're quicker to believe that, right? And so all of a sudden it's like, Germany out here doing way too much. We don't like Germany. Like, Germany is the reason for this whole thing.
Which they were, right?
I mean, but remember, the war started because of the assassination. But Germany just decided to do way too much. So during the first 2 years of the war, the Allies ordered millions in war supplies from the U.S. The Central Powers did as well, but we sold more to the Allies than we did to the Central Powers. By 1915, we were experiencing a labor shortage. The war in Europe at this time needed so much ammo and so many supplies that some of our factories had changed over into war factories, and we didn't have enough people to make the stuff that they needed. So we were having a labor shortage in America to make supplies to provide for the war in Europe. Many of Americans wanted the Allies to win the war, but we were neutral. We were not trying to join this fight. By 1917, America had mobilized for war against the Central Powers. There are reasons why we did this. For one, we wanted to ensure all the money that we lent to Britain and France so they can pay it back. Because if they get wiped off the face of the earth, then they can't pay our money back, and we need our money. And also to prevent Germany from taking over everything and ruining us getting money from other places. Okay, remember, money is like the thing for America. Now, we know that Britain had the strongest navy, right? So because Britain had the strongest navy, even though Germany was trying to build up its navy, Britain still had the strongest navy. Britain knows how to use its navy. So it created the British blockade. The British blockade covered Germany or surrounded Germany so that nothing could get in, nothing could get out of Germany, including food. So after a while, during this war, Germans started starving to death. 750,000 Germans starved to death because there were British battleships that stopped anything from going in and leaving the country. Germany was still paying, was trying to still pay America to bring them stuff. America was like, oh yeah, we're all about the money. But then we got there and Britain was like, so the money gonna let you fight us? Because if you cross this blockade, then you fighting us. So America was like, oh no, we don't want that. So we did not cross the blockade because we were not going to join the war, especially against Britain, because Germany needed money, okay, or needed food. American ships carrying goods for Germany refused to challenge the British blockade. Germany was like, okay, y'all got good ships, y'all got these battleships that won't let our people in. We're gonna figure out a way to get through y'all. We're gonna make submarines, call them U-boats, and we're gonna destroy your battleships. Submarines are under the water, right? You cannot see them because they are under the water. They have torpedoes or missiles that travel under the water and blow things up. On May 7th, 1915, a German U-boat sank the British liner, like a British cruise ship, called the Lusitania. 1,198 people were killed, 128 of them were Americans, okay? So, with America, we're like, listen, we're selling to both of y'all, we're neutral, we're not going to pick sides. And then a cruise ship, like a vacation ship from Britain, had 128 of our people on it. So 128 people of Americans died. So America's like, oh, okay, Germany, okay, we see you. That's strike one. Like, don't play. We understand we're not a part of the war, but that is strike one. You killed 128 of our people. Okay, so don't do it again. Okay, Germany is like, oh, that's our bad. However, the Lusitania did have ammo on it. It was carrying ammo. So Germany was like, listen, tell your people not to get on ships that have ammo on it. America was like, all right, we're not going to join the war yet, but that's strike one. 2 more times, and we're going to get in this war. When we get in this war, it's going to be a problem. Okay, that's what America's saying to Germany. America's opinion of Germany changed as well. Germany made a promise. So Germany sunk a couple more ships that were cruise ships. And America eventually went to Germany. That didn't have our people. It didn't affect us too much. But America went to Germany and was like, listen, you got to stop sinking the cruise ships. If you're going to be in a war, that's fine. You want to sink the battleships? Do that. Sink the people who are actually in the fight. Do not sink people on vacation. So Germany signed the Sussex Pledge saying we will no longer sink ships that are not hostile or a part of the war, okay? All the while, the British blockade is still there. So while the U-boats were there and the U-boats helped, the U-boats were not able to stop the entire British blockade. Britain had enough ships to replace, whenever they blew up a ship, they could replace it. So Germany still had people starving. Woodrow Wilson became president in America. Woodrow Wilson did not want to go to war. So his whole campaign slogan was called, he kept us out of the war, because we could have joined the war, but we didn't want to. And so we stayed out. We made money from Europe. Germany did sink the Lusitania and did kill some of our people, but we told Germany, like, listen, and they signed the Sussex Pledge, so we're good because y'all have told us you're not going to sink people on vacation anymore. However, after the Sussex Pledge was signed and Germany said, we're not sinking any more ships, Germany then went back and said, listen, we are starving, people are dying. So let your people know not to come into any of the hostile water. We're sinking every ship. We don't care what kind of ship it is. We're sinking every ship that comes into the hostile water. So America understood, and America said, okay, we won't send any more ships over there unless we are carrying ammunition, which may come to you if we are allowed to get to y'all, or to Britain. So do not blow up our money ships. As long as you don't blow up our money ships, we're good, okay? Then we have the Zimmerman Note. The Zimmerman Note was Germany decided to write a note to Mexico, okay? They said, hey, Mexico, listen, you know what's going on with World War I right now, and America is not really helping us the way that they could. America is saying they're going to help us, but not really helping us. So we'll tell you what, if you declare war against America, then we will give you all the land that America took from you in the Mexican-American War a long time ago.
We couldn't do that.
Right. So Mexico was like, I'm sorry, what? You want us to fight America that's attached to us, and you gonna give us some land that they like have made states now that are like a part of their country? Nah, we good. We don't want any problems, right?
Smart.
So then Mexico said, hey America, just so you know, this is what Germany sent us. We said no, we don't want any problems. So now America's like, oh, hold up. We told y'all strike one was Lusitania. Now you tried to get the country next to us to fight us? That's strike two. That's strike two. You got one more time. You got one more time, and we're gonna join the war, and when we join the war, it's gonna be a problem. So then that's when Germany sent the thing saying we're going up all ships. America said, we have money ships over there. Don't touch our money ships and we'll be good. Germany said, cool. However, Germany sunk 4 of our merchant ships. So because it was our money ships, that is when Woodrow Wilson was like, oh, forget this. Congress, can we go to war? Can we fight? Congress said, yeah. So we declared war in 1917. We declared war in 1917 after the 3 strikes. The first strike, the Lusitania, where 128 Americans were killed. Second strike, the Zimmerman Note. They asked Mexico to fight against us. Mexico said no. Third, unrestricted submarine warfare. This is after the Sussex Pledge was signed, and they went against what they promised and blew up 4 of our merchant ships. Okay, that is when America decided to join the war.
What was on the merchant ships?
Like ammunition stuff, money, trade, stuff that we were trading. So it's money. Like they literally just blew up money. So that's why we were like, oh no, we can't deal. We have to fight. April 2nd, 1917 is when America joined the war. Right before America joined the war, Russia changed their government. It was actually the Bolsheviks who were Russian rebels that overthrew their government and made Russia a communist country. By doing that, now all of the groups that were on the Allied side had sort of democracy, had representative governments instead of having a dictator, while Germany and Austria-Hungary at that time still had dictators. Woodrow Wilson kind of disguised it as, we're not fighting Germany just because we don't like Germany, we're fighting for democracy. Because everybody on our side has a representative government or democracy, that's what we're fighting about. The war ended in 1918. So we were not playing. We told Germany, do understand, when we get in this war, we're not gonna be fighting for long. Because we have new energy, we have new blood, we are ready for this. We're gonna end this war quickly, and they did. So around the time that America joined the war is when Russia pulled out of the war. So Russia, who had just changed its government, was getting beat down by Germany. Because they're close in proximity, Russia was getting killed by Germany. So Russia was like, hey, Britain and France, can y'all come and help? Britain and France was like, we got our own wars to fight. Like, we gotta fight, protect our own country. So y'all gotta figure it out. Russia was like, we quit, we surrender, we're not doing this. We're not a part of the Allies anymore. So Russia didn't switch sides, they just decided not to be a part of the Allies. Italy, however, who was on the side of the Central Powers, eventually switched to the Allied side. So Italy started on the Central Powers, but by the end of the war, Italy was on the side with us. Does anybody have any questions about how World War I started and how America got involved in World War I? Okay, cool. You have already done your packet, you already have the information. However, I will put this PowerPoint on Canvas if you want to look over it to learn more about how America mobilized. Mobilized means prepared for war. In other words, everything in America became war driven. Once we joined the war, America became war ready. All of our factories now changed to war things. Everyone had a job to help win the war. So we had to eat less food so we could send food over to the soldiers. We had to wear shorter clothes so that we could send fabric over for the uniforms. We had to, all of our factories, we no longer had piano factories. That's one of the ones that was interesting to me. Piano factories all became ammunition factories. So the factories that used to make certain things no longer made those things. They now became things for the war. Okay, so we were in a total war. We were completely mobilizing or getting ready to help win World War I. Okay,